All right, let's talk about the super ring.
Yes,
they
it's been
buff,
fun.
They
Let's
buffed
go.
the super ring. Like it's really interesting because you released that video regarding like you went on a PTR, tested everything. You know, every research has been made, and shortly after, it's not a. I mean, it's clearly a coincidence, but shortly after they.
It's fun to think that it's not a coincidence that we procced this change.
So I don't know if you guys are aware, but next week we're gonna get this new patch, and the borrowed power from this patch is gonna be the Cyrce Circlet, which is a new ring, like very similar to, almost identical to what we had in 10.1, and it's pretty shit. And they buffed it, and it's still shit. So,
I think Taze also wrote an article for Wowhead that was released about 3 days ago or 4 days ago, I think. He also talked about this, and he also included the buffs, because I didn't know about the buffs until I read his article. And he essentially is the theory crafter for Unholy and Frost Decay,
Taze.
and he does a lot of simming. He knows his numbers, and he tested these out and is like, nah, this is still not good enough. And it's funny, because, I mean, I just looked at the DPS meters and the training dummies. It's weird, man, because...
this should be an increase. This should be like the next golden thing to have.
And it would be cool, right? I mean, I'm not a big fan of locking in an item slot for an entire expansion like we had in Legion. We did that. It's, you know, if this is like the best ring ever, you're only going to loot one more ring, the entire expansion. That might be slightly boring. But at the same time, if you make this interesting enough, that could be really cool. And we have fewer gems than we had in Dragonflight. And
they're fewer,
they could be, if they buff them to like stupid amounts, to be like, for the single target, you can take
just bring itch that BFA corruption
a little bit.
Just itch it just a
not
tad.
Twilight Devastation being 70% of your damage profile. That was a little bit stupid.
No. Just itch it a little bit. Okay, let's check out the buffs. So we have the Thunderlord's Crackling Citron. Damage is increased by 20%. Now, if you want, you can read through what these gems will do, but it's nothing really that impactful or dramatic. It's just, you know, passive stuff. Everything has a chance to do something. All right, so this is like the buffed version at a 619 item level. All right, this will go up. Now, let's see. Squall Sailor Citron damage increased by 43%. Is this the one that was the super? There was one that was super OP, not OP, but the best one.
I don't know. It depends. I think no.
But this got buffed by 43%, and it's still shite.
Yeah, as I recall from Taze's sims, the ones that he was recommending was the stat ones, which is the ones that I talked about the most in the video. Anyway, because it's easier to compare with the current version of the ring. So the problem was, okay, you can go through this and you're probably gonna get to the other ones, but I do want to make this point.
There's only a couple of buffed here. So.
Yeah, it's not that many. I don't know if the stats ones were buffed, because this is a problem that we're probably gonna have a video on it as well, where the gearing in WoW is just stupid. It doesn't. The item levels, the stats are a lie, by the way. That is the video that we're gonna have. Because if you take 2 rings of equal item level, they will have the exact same stamina, the exact same max stat, and the secondary stats will be, if you add them together, they'll be the exact same between the rings. So the stats essentially don't matter. Like, items could probably just go ahead and not have main stat and stamina anymore, because it doesn't really matter. What matters is the eye level. You don't interact with the stats. You don't look at a ring, oh, this has 16,732 stamina. Nobody looks at that shit. They just look, oh, 626 item level. And the problem was that once you got the super ring and you put the stat gems in and you add them all up together, they would be the exact same as a regular ring. Now, this is already a flawed design because somebody chose those numbers. Either they chose them as a placeholder and they thought, well, what numbers are we gonna put? Just put like a regular ring.
It felt very random.
They either chose to be a copy paste of a regular ring, which is a problem when you're wanting to put a ring on a PTR test that people aren't supposed to be testing, or they just didn't want it to be that strong, right? They just wanted to, people don't want to figure out exactly what does it mean to proc the gems of your party members and just put stats and don't think about it that much, right? And
it's gonna be lazy.
Just gonna be yeah. So that's why that's important. That's where we're starting with this ring. Now we can look at the buffs.
Okay, so we have the Squall Sailor Citron buffed by 43%, and we have the Undersea Overseer Citron buffed by 44%. Again, this is
the damage procs.
This is the damage procs, yeah, but this is a more cleavy one. And we also have a 20% buff to Storm Sewer Citron Shield. This is the Absorb one. I think this is for tanks.
This is terrible.
Yeah.
So this, on the PTR, this scaled to 320k shield at 639. So 20% buff would be about 300 and what? 80%?
It's
380?
It's nothing.
It's not. Well, a tank has 10 million HP. What are you going to do with that? It's not even 400k absorb. Let's say it can be buffed by 400k with
this will carry on into season 2 as well.
Yeah, will it though? Will it though? I'm not so sure. Sure.
Also, we have the Old Salts Bardic Citrin Healing increased by 43%. This is, again, a chance to like whisper.
To heal
blah, blah.
somebody for 123.
Well, this is 1619 item level, so it's, you know, maybe at 639 it's going to be better.
At 639 or maybe 200 at most.
Yeah, well,
still.
Either way, they're shit. And also the Mariner's Hallowed Citrin Healing increased by 44%, so the stats were not buffed. These are the only ones that
the
got
stats
buffed.
are still the same. They're basically just your average ring with just shittier stats.
All right, so now I know you made a video about the ring and whatever, and the fact that we also seen like be cool from chat, like saying that the 639 ring is worse than my queen ring at normal.
Jesus Christ.
Now this is the level we're talking about here. This is supposed to be the new thing to look forward to in the mini patch. Now I'm not saying, listen, I'm not spoiled in that way. I'm not expecting new shit to get in terms of gear in a 0.7 patch. I'm not expecting.
Imagine if this was an equivalent to like a 650 item level ring. Everybody would do this shit. That island would be flooded with locusts and hyenas, killing all of the mobs and rares there, and you would have a desert of nothing remaining because they just won the ring. That's WoW. That's what WoW is. That's what it should be.
This is the symptom of them introducing for the first time a thing like this back in Dragonflight. Up until Dragonflight, nothing like this happened in a 0.7 or 0.5 patch.
Yeah,
nothing.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
No,
so
we had the Mechagon trinket in BFF, but
that was 0.2, man. That was major patch.
Oh, you mean in point? Yeah.
Yeah. This is season, I'm talking about a mini patch. Okay, so I'm not expecting any type of like chasing a brand new type of power in a mini patch. I'm expecting that in a major patch. Now, if you did do it in Dragonflight, and in Dragonflight it was impactful, like you simmed a lot higher, you cannot come now and give me this ring and my answer ring from normal is better than this max level ring.
It's worse.
Like, come on, man. What are you guys doing?
It's even worse because if I recall, when the ring came, you were playing red, right?
Yeah.
It was pretty good for red.
Oh yeah.
I was playing demo. It was terrible for demo. So it wasn't even a good for
it
like.
It had its issues, I know, but the fact still remains. It was an increase of power for the majority of specs. And I've seen also some healers being using it. I've even seen some tanks being using it. But this is not even the case. This is worse than what you have, right? Why would you take this? Why would you bother going out for it?
And also, by the way, something that we didn't say is it will take you 6 weeks to get it to 639. You won't just get it. Like, we are already using 639 rings, man. Like, 6 weeks? Are you fucking kidding? Like, who the fuck? Come on.
The problem with this ring is maybe it's not designed for people like us.
Probably.
Who are not making.
But we are the ones playing the game. Like, who are you making this for then?
I don't know. They're probably banking. I honestly don't know, because this releases next week. How much more iteration they're gonna have for this? Like, probably during the patch.
I'm almost 100% convinced that they're going to buff it again. And they're probably going to buff it throughout the 1107 patch because they want to keep people engaged. Like, maybe they don't really care of retaining 100% of the player base towards the end of a patch because they know WoW is seasonal. Like, people go, take a break, and then come back with a new patch.
But listen. Like, 11.1 will, at the earliest, release in March.
It's still a lot, but that's what I mean. It's still a lot of months.
Fucking 3 more months, dude. What are you going to do?
Okay, listen, this is a little bit ridiculous, but imagine this. We own Blizzard. We're the team 2.
Yes,
team 2, team 3, whatever. We just say, fuck it, just buff it by triple.
I'm Mike, you're Rosoft.
You're Mick Rosoft.
All right.
And we just say, okay, triple the effects on all of the gems. What's the worst that can happen? Triple the effects, everybody's gonna be like, holy shit, this is pretty good. Everybody's gonna be playing, and if this has to be a better ring at 619 than your 639. Otherwise, nobody's gonna do this shit. Nobody wants to fill their bags with a ring that's gonna be good in 6 weeks. Who the fuck plays that game?
Listen, Rosoft, they have to go really hard. They have to go really hard on making this ring broken. That's it. It's like the last phase of the season. Just give everybody, ridiculous power. At least if you're not gonna have the fixes to the season, just give them extremely broken power so they can like sneeze
have some fun.
Yeah, have some fun up until 11.1 stars. At least you're gonna get some goodwill out of the existing player audience and just have everybody just steamroll through the content for a couple of months. Then everybody gets on their reset mode in 11.1. I'm just saying.
Sure, I mean,
it's better than this shit we have right now.
We were some of the first ones that criticized corruptions and how ridiculous they were when they were released, because we were doing a lot of arenas at the time and it felt very bad to be just one-shot by random corruption instead of actual player skills.
It's not like they cared that
So
much.
we were, what I'm trying to say is that we were part of the, oh, don't give me ridiculous power, let my skill expression show my performance, right? We were part of that. But it was still so fun that no matter how many people complain about it, they played the game more. So as many people as we go, oh, I don't want this shit, I don't want some weird ass powers, you're gonna love it. It's gonna be stupid fun. After a point, stupid fun just trumps ego at one point. It's like, fuck it, just give me the stupid fun, man. I just want to blast.